In terms of what's gonna stop me, I'm the only one that can stop me. I don't say that to brag.
Very fast, 0.0 meters per second, the wind speed.
Breaking news from the track world, Jamaica's men's relay team was on the brink of disaster. After a string of failed attempts, missed handoffs, and a reputation that's been slowly crumbling since the Usain Bolt era, their chance of even making it to the World Championships looked bleak. But then, in a high-stakes race at the London Diamond League, one man, Kishane Thompson, stepped onto the track and changed everything. With the clock ticking, the pressure mounting, and the world watching, Thompson anchored a 37.80-second performance that didn't just qualify Jamaica for the championships. It reignited hope for a country that once dominated sprinting relays. This wasn't just another race. It was a statement, a redemption arc, and a warning to every other nation, Jamaica isn't done yet. But how did it all get to this point? What went so wrong in the years after Bolt? And more importantly, can one man truly be enough to save a sinking ship? The London Diamond League meet was expected to make headlines for its star-studded 100-meter lineup. But few anticipated that the real story would come from a 4x1 relay that had Jamaica's entire World Championship hopes hanging by a thread. After their dismal showing at the World Relays earlier in the year, where they failed to even complete a clean baton exchange in 2 separate attempts, Jamaica's qualification chances were slipping away fast. London became their last lifeline. And instead of playing it safe or sending a second-tier squad, they sent their best, Oblique Seville and Kishane Thompson. It was a declaration of intent. This wasn't a practice run, it was a business trip. And with Great Britain fielding a respectable team of their own, including several athletes from their Olympic medal-winning lineup, the pressure was real. Jamaica couldn't afford another blunder. They had to finish. They had to be fast. And above all, they had to be clean. And when the baton finally made it into Thompson's hands, smoothly and within the zone, everything else fell away. This was the moment, and he delivered. It's no secret that Jamaica's men's 4x100-meter relay team was once feared by the entire world. The era of Usain Bolt was one of dominance, gold medals, and world records. But when Bolt took his final strides in 2017, pulling up injured in his last relay race, it was like the soul of the Jamaican team was ripped out. Since then, the team has spiraled. No medal in 2019. A complete collapse in the 2021 Olympics. Disappointments followed in 2022. And while they did manage to snag a bronze in 2023, it felt more like a fluke than a return to form. The spark, the certainty, the invincibility, it was all gone. Year after year, the team either failed to qualify, dropped the baton, or simply didn't have the firepower to contend. Fans went from expecting gold to just hoping the baton made it around. That's how far they'd fallen. And with the speed talent Jamaica has, that kind of result wasn't just disappointing, it was embarrassing. The question became, where did all that dominance go? If the post-Bolt era has been a series of warning signs, the 2024 World Relays was the siren blaring through the stadium. Jamaica didn't just lose, they collapsed. Twice. With a team that included Kishane Thompson, they failed to complete a legal handoff in both the prelims and the consolation round. The baton didn't even make it to the anchor. Thompson never touched it. Think about that. One of the fastest men in the world stood waiting and the stick never got to him. That wasn't just a bad race, it was a complete system failure. Coaches were questioned, team chemistry was scrutinized, and fans were left in disbelief. How does a nation with such a deep sprinting legacy crumble on the biggest stage like that? Suddenly, what used to be a formality, qualifying for the World Championships, was now in serious jeopardy. There would be no medal to chase if they couldn't even get a time on the board. It was now or never. And with that, the clock started ticking toward London. It sounds like a good problem to have. Too many elite sprinters. But in relay racings, that's exactly where things go wrong. Like the United States, Jamaica finds itself with an embarrassment of riches. World-class sprinters who can all run sub-10. But assembling a winning relay isn't about individual times. It's about cohesion. Canada, for example, doesn't boast the same individual firepower, but they've found success by sticking with the same team, race after race. That chemistry, that trust is what wins medals. Jamaica, meanwhile, keeps shuffling the deck. Different runners, different orders, different results. That inconsistency has been their Achilles heel. Because it doesn't matter how fast your anchor Isla is if the stick never gets to him cleanly, or worse, never gets to him at all. Talent can carry you far. But without chemistry, in a race decided by hundredths of a second, even the fastest team can fall flat on its face. And they've done that too often. Now comes the tricky part. Will Jamaica stick with this squad? The team that raced in London didn't include some of the names fans might expect. No Johan Blake, no Brian Lavelle. Instead, it was a mix of form, chemistry, and necessity. And it worked. But with Worlds approaching, the temptation to reshuffle is real. Coaches might feel pressure to put in bigger names. But if history has taught us anything, it's that switching up a winning relay team almost always backfires. The real test for Jamaica won't be just running fast in London. It'll be whether they keep that same team running together in training and practice and in the preliminary rounds. That's how Canada does it. That's how Great Britain does it. And that's how Jamaica used to do it. Consistency isn't exciting, but it wins medals. And if they want to have any hope of reaching that top step again, they'll need to ditch the musical chairs and double down on what worked. Here's the truth. Jamaica hasn't had a true closer since Bolt. Someone who, once the stick is in their hands, you can sit back and relax, because the race is already over. That's what Kishane Thompson brings to this relay. He's not just fast, he's surgical, explosive, clinical. Give him the baton in a close race, and the gold becomes a guarantee. That kind of anchor leg presence changes everything. It gives the other legs confidence. It gives the coaches breathing room. And it gives the fans hope. In London, Thompson didn't just run fast. He ran with authority. He looked like someone who's not just trying to make the team, but someone who expects to win the entire thing. Jamaica has lacked that swagger since Bolt stepped off the track. But with Thompson in form, they might finally have a new closer. Someone who doesn't just finish the race, but ends it. Let's not sugarcoat it. Bronze won't cut it this year. Not for Jamaica. Not with Thompson firing on all cylinders. Not with the talent they have. This isn't just about making the final anymore. It's about reclaiming dominance. For years, they've been hanging around the edge, sometimes making finals, sometimes missing them, occasionally picking up a bronze. But now, with the world watching and their team finally clicking, this has become a gold or bust campaign. And that pressure could make or break them. Because while the raw speed is there and the anchor is set, the real question is whether the federation, the coaches, and the team itself will commit to a winning formula or fall back into the chaos that's plagued them for years. If they get it right, they're going home with gold. If they don't, well, we've seen this story before. And nobody in Jamaica wants to watch that same ending again.